All right, so I already know it's gonna be a dumb video. It's what do black people think about white
To a
people?
school that was predominantly black when I was growing up. And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. They got a lunch lady in here, bro. Everyone knows what I'm talking about too.
I act differently around people who aren't my race. 3, 2,
Strongly
1.
agree.
I think the most important thing
Strong-
is just
hey,
to authentically
I'm going all the way
be
to the right,
yourself,
bro.
And I don't think being around people who don't look like you should be a reason for you to
Bro, I'm gonna act like myself,
Yeah,
but
for
like
me, I guess it's like
there's
within the
there's
confines of, like,
different types of me, bro. You can't
the
act the same
workforce.
around the white people.
I was
Personally,
thinking code switching.
personally.
because if you show up to a meeting talking like this, they're like, uneducated, got it. They'll use the slang to sell the products and to tweet and to get the clicks and stuff, but like as soon as a worker's there who's authentically from the area and talking like people from the area, it's like, ooh, we don't like that. You know, because it's always like,
You're
well, be
speaking
yourself
facts, bro.
Until you yourself. And then it's like, ooh, I don't like yourself. Unfortunately, in a lot of the areas of work, it's like you almost have to like lie to these people to be like, I'm a robot. I'll like, you know, I love your company. Yeah. You know, it's sick. It's sick. But it's like, you have to get, you know.
True. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like code switching is one part, but also like there's certain parts in my own community that aren't accepted, that when I'm around different people that look like me, I can express myself differently. Like, I feel like if I talk a little proper, sometimes I get a little slack for it from
Yeah,
my
that's
side
true.
of the family. But when I go out into the world, sometimes I like PC, I like tech music, I like, you know what I'm saying?
See, for me, I feel like it has nothing to do with race. It more has to do with just being professional. Like, if I'm at work, then I'm obviously going to be a little more proper, you know, a little
Bro.
bit less slang and all of that, and just more careful with my
bro.
rhetoric.
I don't
But
know what you're
think it has
talking
to do
about,
with
bro.
Race. The only thing I will
If
say
you're,
is, like, I work in
hold on, bro. So, nah, because white people expect you to act a certain way, so you have to. I'm not even saying this is old people. I'm really talking about old white people. Old white people, I think you have to be a certain way, and they already have this mind about you before you even walk in the door. They know you're black, so they know you're black. You're coming in. They already think you're gonna act a certain way. I mean, being presentable is part of that, but it shouldn't be unexpected of you to be unpresentable. So
media, so
they think. So you have to act a certain way, or you can't out of character. It's so
I'm
dumb,
on
bro.
camera
It's
a
so
lot,
dumb.
So people already know who I am and what I'm coming with. But that being said, it's like when I'm around other black people, because I'm a Republican, sometimes they tend to be really standoffish.
Get
with
this
me,
dude
or they
out
don't
of here,
understand
bro.
the culture and
Like,
all
what
this
are you
different stuff.
talking about?
So
No one's
sometimes I
talking
feel
about
like,
political
these people
parties,
just
bro.
gonna call me an Uncle Tom, or these people like I
You
can
might
actually
be
just
Uncle
keep it, like,
Tom
real
if
with.
people are
So
calling you Uncle
that's the
Tom,
only
bro.
time I feel like I act different because of race.
You know, I also work in political media, but as a leftist, and I honestly feel like
Bro,
I've definitely
why does
benefited
it
from being
always
able
co-
to be in
why do they
spaces
always
where
talk
I've
about
been able to be authentically
politics, bro?
myself, and I definitely think
I'm not
that's a
even
privilege,
trying to hear this,
especially
bro.
Where I like grew up is just like is something that's regularly happening that people
Lunch
have to go
lady.
through. But personally,
Lunch
I think I've
lady.
been able to, especially now in a business side and now my new workplace. I feel like I don't have to adapt my language to make people like respect me or understand where I'm trying to come from. You know.
At what point is it like, damn, we can't even really have conversations without buttoning up and being like, oh, this is how we have to talk like this, because so they'll listen, or like regard us as
But do you
people.
think that's racial?
Bro,
Or do you
that
think
dude
it's-
in
I
the
think-
with
I
the
don't know
neck
that it's-
tattoo
I don't
is.
know that it's because I'm right. I know
Bro,
where you're going.
he looks fed up.
We've seen you. We've
I
seen
know.
you
I
come
think you know, I know exactly where it's going. I don't think it's intrinsically rooted in race, but I think just the way the social genetic makeup of people are. I think just by way of people of specific races speaking a certain way or being perceived a certain way, it tends to be more often
His
than
mustache
not
is so weird,
rooted in
bro.
race, based off of like urban Black Americans.
Yeah.
I think most people have barriers they put up when they get introduced to a new group. I went on disagree instead of strongly disagree because like there have been situations where I get introduced to a group of someone of a different race. And like, yeah, at first I'm pulled back, but once I get comfortable with them, those walls come down and then, yeah.
Did he
that's when
low-key just say he's
For me,
racist?
it really
Or am I tripping?
depends because I've been shooting music videos in the hood, so I really need to basically adopt myself to become a black person. So for me, it's not a problem like meeting new races.
What?
I always like vibe and chill with people.
Do you think adapting yourself to those different ethnicities is like something that's required to foster like a successful relationship?
Like, I would say it's really more for your survival.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, if you are the only white guy on set, and like there's like people with like
He's my
guns
favorite
and stuff,
person in this
and,
right
you know,
now.
you just really need
Because
to,
I feel like
fit
he's
in
like
and just
not an absolute dickhead like that
with it.
Uncle Tom dude, bro.
From the Ukraine,
That
right?
dude
Do you feel like
that's wearing basketball
being,
shoes with
like,
that
not
fit, bro,
having
that
grown
makes no
up with American
sense at
culture
all.
as a whole,
Bro,
and
like, what?
especially not growing up with our subcultures. Do you feel like that's influenced the way you move when you're moving between our subcultures?
My like mentality is kind of mixed, because like
What are people wearing? Okay, this dude's fit right here. That's cool. This dude's wearing basketball shoes. I'm pretty sure those Giannis's with jeans and like, bro, you're the most Republican looking dude ever. And she's wearing, I don't know what she's wearing, bro. That fit is not hitting. Lunch lady right here. Sure, her fit's cool. He's just chilling, and the dude in the back, I think he got a cool fit on. But this dude with the basketball shoes,
like 13, I really started to learn English. From that, I really learned a lot. Like, I really got the American like mentality more. And
Is she not
basically,
American?
Like, my mentality is like mixed, because like in Ukraine, if
he's Ukrainian.
If we see a black person, we call them the N-word. And from our side, it's not offensive. Like, we say it not from a offensive
And
way.
we send them
Some
money?
people can, because, you know, like, you don't see a black person there.
I can understand that, because I went to a school that was predominantly black when I was growing up. And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a white girl with like red hair, and I was like, whoa, I've never seen this before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand that, like, when.
all right, so my mom, she lived like in an all white town, but she went to a different town that was closer to her, and she seen the first black person when she was 13.
A white
Mind you,
person
I'm
comes to a
mixed,
predominantly
so
black
my mom's
group,
white,
then
and she
you're going to
didn't
try
see a
your
black
best
person
to
till she was
adapt
13.
to
It's
that,
kind of
to our
weird.
culture, to be like, okay, hey, I get along with you. This is my way of like telling you, like, hey, this is, I'm like extending an olive branch, basically. So yeah.
Personally, not to sound triggered,
Dude,
but I just
I
don't
don't
like
like
the
this dude,
notion
bro.
that you're becoming a black person by pretending to be hood or
No.
adopting.
Yeah,
a
that is
mentality.
true, that is
Not
true, that's
all
true.
black people are hood. Not all black
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are
yeah,
ghetto.
but still,
I understand what you're trying to say,
bro.
and I don't know if it's a language barrier, so I don't want to like come at you like you're saying something racist. But I just really am anti black people being defined as ghetto and hood, because there's a lot of classy black people out
Yes,
there.
That's
there's
true.
a lot of intelligent Afro-Americans out there, and
Bro, stop
it
trying to be
really,
politically
like,
correct, bro.
depends
Just
on like where you grew up in.
Also, if you are hood and ghetto like me, you can also be all those things too.
White people also experience race-based prejudice.
wait. What's this thing?
Also experience race-based prejudice.
Strongly agree. I don't think
Since
if
you
you.
guys probably don't know, I have lived overseas. I've lived in Asian countries. In Japan, there are certain restaurants and stuff like that that you could walk into. You can see people dining in the restaurant, and they're gonna tell you they're closed, just because
Bro.
you're white or you're American.
Bro.
So the idea that white people can't really experience racism.
I thought we were only
kinda
talking about like American
contradicts the very
situations,
definition
bro.
of the word.
Like,
Because the definition of racism is prejudice based on one's skin color. White people do experience it, but to a different degree.
While I do think that our white brothers and sisters in Christ can experience racial-based prejudice, I don't want to overlook the nuance of that prejudice, because it's not necessarily rooted in anything systematic or anything that's gonna actually have long-term effects,
Damn,
knock
this
on
dude's
wood,
yapping, bro.
that are gonna like debilitate a race or inhibit their chances or possibility of succeeding or being seen as better than POC.
I definitely think it's a non-issue, racism towards white people, especially specifically, I want to, like, in America. I don't
Jesus,
think it's
bro.
something that needs
I hate.
to be highlighted as an issue that is a constant threat to lives, day-to-day well-being, progress and success in life in general, because it's not something that's going to inhibit you, and you don't have to walk out your door and think, I'm about to be attacked, like people of color do every single day.
I do agree that.
Whoa,
white
whoa,
people
whoa,
have-
whoa, whoa. That is not true. That's not true. That's not true. She's yapping, bro. People of color do not feel attacked
put
every
through
single day.
centuries of hell, like
Every
black
single
people
day she's
were.
tripping.
But prejudice towards white people 100% exists. Like whether it's in TV, if it's in movies, like if you watch predominantly black media, there's a lot of roasting towards white people that if it was the other way around, that would never be acceptable today.
True.
Then you go on social media like TikTok and you look up white people are bad. You will see videos where they're attacking white people for things that their ancestors did 200 years ago. There are societal benefits at this point for being a person of color, and that those negatively affect white people.
Not really.
Like if you look at affirmative action, diversity quotas in the workplace, all these different things, they lower the bar for black people, but then increase the bar for white people. However, I think where some of the issue comes is because a lot of marginalized groups and people of color back in the day went through so much worse that it's easy for us to discredit the prejudice that white people now deal with today.
I think like on an individualistic level, like yeah, white people get hate all the time. But I think if you zoom out and you look at the big picture, it's a little bit different. And like talking about like YouTube having, you know, racist content for anyone out there, it's like I would have to go and seek that out.
Yeah, that's
versus
true.
it like coming to me.
It's all
like,
algorithm, bro. It's all algorithm, bro. So if you're actively seeing it, especially on TikTok, if you're seeing that stuff on TikTok, there's something wrong with you, bro.
I would have to like look for a video being like, oh, people who hate white people.
I agree.
Like versus like Twitter, I don't have to scroll very long before I see some person.
I don't
making
go on
some
Twitter, bro.
pocket
I hate
comment.
Twitter.
And regulation.
Twitter
being
is so
lifted,
dumb.
you see that even more so.
Right.
Absolutely,
Dude,
that's 100.
she got a gorilla back, bro.
Action,
That shit is
statistically,
fat.
on paper, white people, white women, were benefiting more from affirmative action at colleges than
Abla,
any other
abla,
demographic.
abla.
So I also don't think that's fair to say.
But she's
I definitely
yapping.
get what you mean. And again, I think it's the prejudice is still there though.
And I will say that black people do deal with prejudice. I think every demographic.
That shit
has
flopping,
prejudice.
bro.
There are
You see
racist
her
people
arms
everywhere.
flopping,
I
bro.
just don't think systemic racism is an issue anymore in today's society. But I do think that there are racist people out there.
I think that there's a really important distinction. Our language is constantly evolving, and you were talking about the definition of racism. Our societal definition has changed to include a systemic part of it. And I completely disagree with this idea that people of color don't have systemic things against them still. Because the fact that we still have the KKK, the fact that we still have these things, and they are in positions of power. As long as that exists, and as long as that's a part of our country.
I feel like she works out,
now,
bro.
Which it is. And that's our power structure.
I'm like seeing her
I don't feel
arms.
like you
She
can
looks like she
honestly
works out.
deny systemic racism against the black community, which is why prejudice is so different from racism. I don't think white people can experience racism in this country, but we can experience prejudice based on the societal definitions we know.
Racism is racism.
Being
There's
sexually
nothing.
unattracted to a race is racist.
Strongly disagree.
I think
Disagree.
where the line gets drawn is when
Disagree.
a white girl is sitting there swiping and he's just like, I don't like black girls, they're all ugly. They have too big of lips. I think that's where the line gets drawn. But
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Okay, like I understand what they're saying, but there's beautiful women in every single race. But it goes Asians, white girls, light skins, Latinas, dark skins. I'm telling you.
you can't really help what you're attracted
telling
to.
you.
Like my fiance,
And Latinos, sometimes they're one, but Asians for me, up there, bro. There's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, I'm black myself. It's just a preference. It's just, and you can't get mad at me or say it's racist because motherfucker, I'm black. Okay.
is Mexican, and it's like.
And I like light skins, bro. Like what?
He is not how he looks.
I just don't like
I
dark
think
skins.
that we are conditioned to be attracted and to respond to people that we grow up and around with. So homogeneously,
I grow
we
up around
with people
Asians,
who
bro.
Look like us. So when you move into dating and things like that, statistically, you're going to be attracted to people that you grew up seeing, right? However, when you are
I grew up
discrediting
around
a certain race for whatever reason based
around
on
a lot
their
of white
ethnicity,
people.
meaning everybody who
probably why I like
did
white
exist,
girls,
is existing, and will exist from that race, you are not feeling anything. Cute, I don't control your body or your thoughts, but on one hand, I'm like, let's maybe unpack that. Also, where's my camera? To all the girls that's putting this in their bios, that's none of our business. Stop doing that. Keep that to yourself. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear it.
For me, I think that like, we're talking about conditioning and how we grew up, right? If you go to like South Africa, for instance, which within some of our lifetimes had apartheid.
A what?
If you grow up in that, especially as a black person, where you're constantly being mistreated by every single white person,
I mean,
and you're
yeah.
conditioned to be like, white person, no thank you. I don't think that's racist.
I agree, and I did not grow up in South Africa with apartheid.
Yeah.
However, like I said,
used
the
it.
nickname
Bro.
of my town was Clancy. Like a lot of my interactions growing up were incredibly racist, and I'm dating a white guy. So I totally get what you mean. I don't want to discredit black people or anyone who's had those kind of situations because it's not that they're not
bro,
dating white
can-
people. It's
Yeah.
definitely it's more like
Her
they're
list
cautious.
is like
I think you used
annoying
the
to me.
perfect word
Like
earlier.
I'm
Is
not
it
even like
conditioned or
Cornball.
I was thinking about it on the terms of me being a black woman. I feel like it's a lot different when it is a black woman going into dating someone that is not of their race. I can tell you from my experience with dating Hispanic men, white, whatever.
bro, let me say something, bro. If you're a black girl, and you date a white dude, and you bring a white dude home, they're gonna look at you crazy. I mean, a lot of black families would. I'm not saying all, but like, it's just so. In the way people will say, "Oh, I can't date a white girl because, well, their parents, blah blah, their family, whatever." Black people might be worse than that in that situation, bro.
They've only seen Jerry
They're more.
Springer
They can be
and
more
Maury.
racist at sometimes. Like,
So it's like they have a whole different idea of what a black woman is. Like before my husband changed a lot, one of the comments made to me was he was afraid of me going to his house with braids in my hair.
huh?
Because then they would assume that I was a different kind of girl instead of looking
Bro,
at me. for
braids
who I
don't
am.
mean nothing,
I
bro.
have been denied access because of my race.
I don't think that's ever happened to me. Nah, I don't think. Nah. That ain't never happened to me. Denied because my race.
I can go anywhere. I can sit down anywhere, and I am not going to be denied because of how I look. And I would
Denied
be
'cause of
ignorant
my
to not
race.
admit that.
And I'm going to counter that with we are justifiably not let into spaces. And our whiteness takes away access to things like powwows. And there's an island in Hawaii that's only for natives or for like safe
That's-
spaces for black communities or
Bro,
whatever else.
have
We are
I ever
justifiably
been denied access? Not
because of our
if
skin.
you were
we
to,
love
have you
nuance.
The
been?
thing about Hawaii, though,
Yeah.
Idiot.
Hawaii is stolen land. I believe
Huh?
that they have every right to be able to say only we're allowed to go here because that
Justifiably.
was theirs. It
It's
was
the
literally
United
stolen land that was
States. You
stolen
can
by
go wherever
white
you want,
people.
bro. Because if
that's why it's justified.
because if Hawaiians came like what if we're like, oh no, Hawaiians can't come to California. This is our native land. Like, bro,
Justifiably, it's still denied
everyone be
access.
freaking
Yeah,
out.
It is justifiable, 100%. Don't
Yeah,
let me
it's
in.
denied access, but
It's not justifiable at all.
Like in my
Land
own
is
day-to-day
land.
life, I could go anywhere. I can
Nah.
sit down anywhere. I can go read a book in a library. I can go to Starbucks. People don't fear me because of how I look, and so
Bro, I feel like I can go anywhere,
You
bro.
can't be here.
I can go.
Like in your day-to-day life, are you being denied access? Like, are you trying to go to that island that they won't let you? Okay.
Then I think that's a really good question.
Like,
Like,
I
has that happened? I guess. Are you
say
seeking
yeah.
those spaces then?
I'm not necessarily seeking them. If I am already aware that this is like, hey, this is for us, not for you. I'm not
She's
gonna show up and be
becoming
like,
more
"Yeah,
annoying
but like, I'm a
than
cool
the
Western
lunch lady,
friend."
bro.
But there are spaces that we are not allowed, and I think that's okay.
No, it is okay, but if you're not actively seeking to be part of those circles, you're not being denied access to them.
I will
Bro,
agree.
he's speaking facts.
Sure, and I like.
What do you
and I
mean
can say that
sure?
those are
You know
not
he's
the
right,
best
bro.
Examples, but like I think especially because my social circles are predominantly people of color, there are definitely things where they're like where I've had them be like, "This is not a conversation for you," and I'm like, "Okay."
They ain't your
I
friends
have
then.
had those experiences. I'm okay with them. I want to be clear. Like, I think there should be spaces
Bro, imagine
that aren't
if
for me, and that is
black people.
okay,
I mean,
but
if
they've
white people
existed
did
and
it to a
they've
black
been in my
person.
life.
I have just
I'm
one
saying.
really specific example. Otherwise, I feel like in general, I'm not denied access because of my race, just in my experience. But I had an ex whose stepfather was wildly racist.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I have been denied. Well, I had. Okay, so this is a situation. So our family was having a Thanksgiving, my white side of the family, and I know I would be invited to this no matter what because like I've known them my whole entire life. This is literally like my family, or so I thought, right? So my mom, they tell him, and we're planning on going to this place, right? My mom likes black dude, so she's always dated a black dude, and she's obviously gonna bring the black dude that she's dating to the family Thanksgiving. So basically, our one relative lied and said it's not going on anymore, and then our other relative that my mom's like basically her second mom goes, where you at? Are you gonna come to this Thanksgiving? And she goes, so and so told me it's not going on anymore. And she said no, but we come to find out she didn't invite. She said that we it's not happening anymore because her black boyfriend was gonna come. So what do you think they think about me and my dad? That my dad's been over there multiple times and done many things for them. But there's many stories about that place, that
like
small little town I
Nazi
used to live in.
memorabilia, like just insane individual, and I was never allowed over her house because of him. And the one time that I kind of snuck in, he was staring at me through the window, and I'll never forget that in my life, the way that man was staring at me through the window, and then cursed out his kids for having me in the house. That man's now in prison for doing God knows what, but it's where he belongs.
I was looking for funding for my film, and most of them are for colored people, and I totally understand that. And there is like not many that I found that are for like everybody. My mind would be like, you know, damn, I cannot do it. Like I cannot apply to it. But from the other side, I understand that the black community, like
honestly, bro, because I understand. Honestly, he should be accepted into those types of programs, because the reason those programs exist is because black people and people of color have been what's it called, suppressed by white people in the past. Now, I'm not saying they do it now. But if you're a foreigner coming to this country, you're more likely going to be suppressed by other Americans. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I will ever do that. I'm actually all for other people coming here, but I'm just saying, if you are, it's kind of hard to get a start in this country because you haven't anything built up. But I think you should.
I feel like
but
I've
there's
been
definitely programs for
invited
foreigners,
too
stuff like
much.
that. But
You know, I feel like I'm kind of like
Not
a
as many,
undercover
though.
agent where I'm like because I talk a certain way or because I present myself a certain way, they assume like, oh, I can say this in front of you.
100%.
And I'm like, what'd you say?
Exactly.
You know, I've never really been.
Now I'll say that too. I've been
Yeah.
tokenized so many times.
like, I don't want
we
that.
have to have you here. We need young black representation. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna stay home.
I am proud of my race. 3,
What?
2, 1.
I'd probably be in the middle
I
on
will
this,
go
bro.
first, and I will stand 10 toes in.
I was just being ironic to
I
stand over
think-
there.
Please no. I was here. I cried a little bit.
I'm
I
being
think
messy.
that, like,
Bro.
and I'll just keep it specific to
Bro, I'm
to
gonna
my
be in the
experience, what I
middle,
know. As
bro.
Black Americans, we're pretty much the top culture that gets replicated, referenced. People scoot in and scoot out because they want to seem cool and interesting and stuff. And I think that that's so kind of us to like kind of like be beaten down for so long and become separated from our
I don't really
people.
care about this question, bro.
Just had to go like the thing, and
needs to be proud of their race and stop this. Like,
Bro, I'm not. If someone asks me this, am I proud of my race, bro? I'm not really proud, because I'm not this whole group that you speak of. I'm not black. I am not. Well, I mean, I am. I'm not black. I'm not white, but I am. But I'm myself. And I'm gonna say that. If someone said, "Are you proud of your family, your last name?" Oh yeah, 100% strongly agree. But if you just ask me a whole group of people that have, that I have not control over, but have no say in what they do, I'm not gonna be proud of those people. Those are not my people. But in a sense, they are. But the thing is, I'm white and black. So, am I proud of white people? Am I proud of black people? I could say I'm not, and I could say I am about a lot of people, but it just doesn't make any
racist
sense.
bullshit, because like you could be green, red, black, white, Hispanic, like it doesn't matter.
I agree with like what you're saying, because my own personal belief is that at the basis of who we are is that we're all just people. We're not a skin tone. But because of those before me,
Yeah,
I now
so
have
why
to
are you
fight
not-
back against the
Man, shut up, bro.
I don't.
Of the things I've
What's the next question, bro?
Culture.
That's versus.
I think you guys had the valid point together, but just
All right, bro. So if you watch this far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, bro, because it's gonna be a video.